Today we will be looking at the painting American Gothic by the artist Grant Wood. The painting, as you can see, shows a man and his daughter standing in front of their home. The man is holding a fork that's used for hay. They're wearing serious clothing and have very serious expressions. Here's the home in Iowa that inspired the painting, and the people that the artist used were his sister and his dentist to pose for this painting. A parody is copying the style of an artist but using exaggeration for comic effect. This painting has many parodies out there. Here's one for American Quarantine, when people stayed inside. We also have other characters that are used, like the minions here, who are dressed in the same clothing. We have Barbie and Ken. And of course, Kermit and Miss Piggy. These are just a few of the very many parodies that have been made of American Gothic. Today we will use characters to create a parody of the painting as well. I'll be using a pencil, Sharpie, paper, and some kind of colors. So I was looking through some books and I thought that 3 nice mice here might be a fun one to use. The characters would make a fun parody of this painting. So I'm just kind of flipping through to get familiar with the characters and was going to use them to create this painting. Now I'm going to start kind of high up where the heads are, and I want to have 2 heads, a boy and a girl, for the father and daughter of the painting. And I'm just going to kind of really lightly sketch out with my pencil kind of where I want the heads to go. Notice that they are a little bit above halfway up the picture so that I have the figures taking up a good amount of the space, and then the house, of course, will be behind them. So I'm just sketching in a rough draft of kind of where the figures are. You can decide if you want to have them wearing clothes similar to the painting, which is what I am doing, or if you wanted them to have their normal clothes, that's fine. Another thing to think about is what your characters will be holding. So because I have mice here, I thought it would be fun to have a fork with some cheese on the end of it, because mice, of course, love their cheese. So I am just kind of sketching that out for my picture, and will, of course, be adding some detail once I go in with marker. I'm going to have my characters looking the same direction as the original painting, and I'm looking at some of the details on the painting to see if I can go ahead and add it to my drawing. Now, before I do any of the background, I think I'm going to go ahead and add some Sharpie to my mice so that I can get those details in right now. once I have a good amount of detail added to my characters with my Sharpie, I want to go ahead and sketch in the house behind my characters. Now the house is just a line for the roof, and then it makes kind of a triangle behind them. One of the most important features of the home is the Gothic style window, which is why the name American Gothic is for this painting. I'm adding another window underneath in the porch and a little barn along the side, trying to show some of those details that are in the original painting as well. I'm going to go ahead and outline these now that I have them sketched in with my pencil so that they show up nice and neat on my finished picture. If you wanted to use a ruler so your lines are nice and straight, you could go ahead and do that as well. I'm just kind of eyeballing it with my pencil and marker. I'm also adding in a little bit of the trees that are behind my characters. Now that I've got most of the details, I am going to go ahead and start coloring. I'm going to use some colors that are similar to the picture, but we'll also change it up a little bit as well. As you can see, I have sped up my video so that you can just get an idea of the coloring that I do. I'm using colored pencils, but any colors that you have should work just fine for this project. I am adding a little bit of shading and blending as I color these mice, and we'll continue working until I have some nice coloring and shading going on. My goal is to use some of the same colors. I tried to keep the house similar with some of those details, and the clothing I would like to have somewhat similar as well. Obviously, the cheese and fork are different, so those are fun additions. And the original painting doesn't show any of the ground, so I will be making the ground kind of green for the grass, like the reference picture of the house that I shared earlier. Here you can see I have added details to my final picture here, and now have my very own parody of American Gothic.